This is the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe Hennessey, and it is the ultimate full-size SUV. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to show you everything that's different about this Tahoe in today's video. Do a test drive. It's going to be a blast. We're here at Chevy Land in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is for sale, by the way. It just came in. That's why it's a little dirty. We're going to give you all the details on it. Check out the link in the description of the video if you want to know more. Now, you will have typical things. This is actually based on the Tahoe Premier, so it's going to have all your typical LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, the animated lights, these locator lights that I just turned on. All of that stuff is going to be here. From the front end, it doesn't look that much different from your typical Tahoe Premier. The chrome grille is here. You've got your front view camera, but you're going to notice that there's not quite as much ride height. 2.5 inches lower than any other Tahoe trim level you can buy. To give it a more aggressive stance, it's going to be four-wheel drive. We'll work our way around and talk about two more things that are going to be different here. First of all, you're going to have the aggressive with that Hennessey logo right here on the center, 24-inch wheels. They're going to come in gloss black. You're also going to have your 6-piston performance brakes with the red brake calipers. That stands out wonderfully. And obviously, when you look here, you're going to see something that's very different as well. Your Hennessey logo, supercharged. That's right, it does have a supercharger under the hood. We'll have some of the typical features here, such as the side view mirrors with the turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power folding, power adjustable. All of that is here. One thing that I do think should be different is that you have just a conventional style remote. It's going to have lock, unlock, remote start. You can open and close the power tailgate, pop open the rear glass. All of that's going to be here. There's even a mechanical key inside in case the remote or the key fob battery dies. Now, going to have our chrome and body colored side view mirrors with, door handles with the passive entry right here. That's going to be on the front and the rear doors, which I really like that. If you're going to have it on the front, you might as well have it on the rear. It's also going to have the power assist steps. We can take advantage of that button, make sure that's unlocked. There's your power assist steps. By the way, there is a setting on your center screen where you can leave those deployed if you need to, as far as cleaning and washing all of that and doing all that good stuff. When you go into drive and start to move, they are going to go back under the vehicle. There's no way to keep them out. Roof rails up top. You can get your crossbars and increase your cargo space for when you're flying down the road. Work our way around here to the rear. Now here's something that's going to be very different. The Hennessey logo. A lot of people are going to pull up behind you at a red light and wonder, what is that? Are they even going to know how to pronounce it? Kind of makes you wonder. We will have our Hennessey and the 600 logo here, supercharged right there, and still going to have our LED taillights back here. They're also going to be animated with that locator light setup back here. They're very bright, by the way. It may not look that way, but they are extremely bright. And what else would you expect but the exhaust outlets right here? You're going to have the Sport Catback exhaust, quad tip exhaust back here. Definitely the vehicle to not have the supposed clean look that so many automakers are going to in this day and age by concealing away the exhaust. Now, if you're watching this video and saying, Tom, what exactly is Hennessey? It's actually the name of a high-performance company that takes vehicles like this Tahoe and others out there. You could even send your own vehicle there if you wanted to, and outfits it to where it is making insane horsepower, adds the upgraded brakes, all that good stuff. That's what we ultimately have here. So what is the difference? This is still a 6.2-liter V8 that would normally put out 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-feet of torque. With the supercharger that has been added here, that means it goes to 625 horsepower and 633 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to the 10-speed automatic transmission, but here are the impressive numbers. This is a big, heavy SUV. 0 to 60, 5 seconds flat, top speed about 140 miles per hour. And if you're wondering, what does a supercharger do to help the engine out? Well, basically, it's an air compressor. It sucks air in. There's impellers inside of the supercharger that are whirring around. That's that whining sound you hear. And they force air into the engine at a high velocity. When you do that, you increase the air intake. That means you can have more fuel, more spark, and ultimately more horsepower. Now, normally at this point in the scene or the video, I'd show you the MPGs, but on the window sticker, they're not accurate. But here are the potential numbers. 10 to 13 miles per gallon city. On the highway, 15 to 18 miles per gallon. combined about 12 to 15 mpgs. So you know you're going to lose a little bit of that because of all this power, all the torque here, but it's okay. If I drove, however, I would likely never reach those numbers. I'd probably be in the single digits. How about you? You can tow up to 8,000 pounds, so as far as basic capability, you still have a lot of that here. And here's something that I talked about earlier. I talked about how you can pop this rear glass open with the remote. If you were wondering about that, here's what that is. You can easily reach in and put anything in or get anything out that you want to when you don't need to actually open your power tailgate, which is done a few different ways between the remote, the button on the tailgate itself, and the button on the interior. And let's come over here and take a look at what we have as far as how to maximize our cargo space. First of all, now you'll notice you have the down and the up arrow. So you can lower the rear seats right here with these buttons. They're going to go all the way down. I say they are. We're going to fix that problem where they both will go all the way down. We can hit the button for the middle row seats to go down, but here's the difference. When you look at them, you've only got the down arrows right here. Nothing up here. That means you have to manually put that back in place. And here is your cargo space. How much cargo capacity can you expect to find? With the third row up, 25.5 cubic feet. If you lower the third row but keep the second row up, 72.5 cubic feet, and maximized as we have it right now, 122.7 cubic feet. Quite a bit going on where that's concerned. We're also going to have our power outlet right there if you want to take advantage of that. And a little bit more storage space underneath the rear floor. There's the tools to put your spare tire on. And from this vantage point, we can see that we have the panoramic sunroof. We'll show that to you with the shade open. Let's talk about practical use for your second and third row passengers. We'll start with our door panel right here and talk about what you're going to find there. A nice large armrest. I like that it's completely flat. That's going to be a lot more comfortable and usable. We have the upper and the lower door bins offering quite a bit of space for whatever your passengers want to store. You can also see the speaker right here with the Bose premium audio system. And as we work our way in, there are two levers on the side of the seat. The lever in the front is what's going to allow to actually move these seats back and forth. The lever in the back gets the seats up and out of the way. And when I talk about moving the seats back and forth, here's what I mean. You can actually increase leg space for third row passengers, although it's not terribly lacking back there. So first of all, we're going to pull the lever once and then twice. That back lever, that allows me to hop into the third row right here. So we're going to hop in just like this, bring that seat down, bring that up. Now, it's not all the way back, but if it were, it'd come to about right here. But as you can see, there is the potential for a lot of leg space for your third row passengers. I like the fact that up here, we're going to have the air conditioning vents very close to your passengers. So whether it's a cold day and they need the heat or a hot day and they need the cool, it's going to get to them nice and fast. And we're going to find our cup holder right here, a little bit of storage space behind that, and a USB port. Going to have that on both sides. But what do you do if the passengers forget about who's sitting back here in the third row and they don't want to get out through the pass-through right here? There's actually a very simple way to deal with this. There's a button right down here. You can see it right there. And when you hit that button, here's what is going to happen. I'm going to hit that button one time. The seat's going to get down. Then I hit it a second time and the seat gets up and out of the way, and now I can get right out. As promised, we've opened the shade for the panoramic sunroof so you can see that. That front portion will open, and obviously you can draw the shade back and forth as needed. Something else that's going to be nice here, shouldn't be a surprise, but it is here, so we're going to show it to you. The dual screens on the back of each seat, mounted on the headrests, very easy to deal with. And there's a lot you can do here, a lot of information that can be brought up You can go into settings if you need to as far as that goes and adjust things like your screen brightness, your Bluetooth headphones. You can deal with pairing all of that, voiceover. Everything is here that I know a lot of you want to see and want to know about. You can even see the vehicle status, as you can see right there. So you can see how fast you're going. That might be kind of scary for some people riding in the back seat. I know when I'm driving, it's not scary. It's scary when you're in the passenger seat, right? But you can see what all is there and see that we have more than enough fuel for our test drive, which we're definitely going to do. Now, practical use again, back here, we're going to have the rear seat pockets on the back of each seat. We're going to have the cup holders right here with a little bit of space in between right there. And then the command center for the third zone of climate control. We're going to have temperature on the right, fan speed on the left. You can determine what you do right here. A couple of different options. Heated seats for the middle row passengers with these captain's chairs. We're going to have our USB ports and one more of those power outlets right there. One more thing that is here I might as well talk about is the armrest. It works pretty well. I do wish it was a little bit longer. Personally, I always like to make that point in my videos because my hand is still hanging off right here. In fact, it would be perfect if any of the GM engineers are watching. Make it as tall as the seat back right here, and then it's right. So what is the sticker price? $97,250. I have seen some full-size SUVs that compete with this Tahoe that get over $100,000 that don't offer near the horsepower. Now, one thing you might have wondered about is what octane gas do you run in this Hennessey? Well, there it is right there, 93 octane. So you're going to run premium fuel in it. You could run 80, 91 possibly. It's not going to be ideal. You're not going to make as much horsepower, but definitely just go with that 93 and you're good to go. Now let's talk about what we have right here. You already saw it. You're going to have the digital rear view mirror, which is going to be right here. You can use that as a conventional rear view mirror if you want to, and we can make adjustments to brightness. We can zoom in. We can also come over here and adjust the angle depending on what we need to do. You just go through with the button right here, make the adjustments over here. With the upper console, we're going to have things such as our lights right here. We can open and close the sunroof here. We can open and close the power shade right here. We're going to show you the power console, the center console. You can move back and forth right here in just a minute. But right here is something very important. If your power tailgate back there is not opening, make sure that is not set to off like that. Make sure it's set to 3/4 or max, and then that's going to work. Now, let me show you this center console. In fact, there's a couple of interesting things going on here. Number one, you can see the Hennessey logo right here. Going to have all the details right there. But as far as this feature goes, here's what's going to happen. You can bring this all the way back, and there's a few interesting little things here that you can do. Number one, you might say, well, I lost my armrest. Well, not really. You can bring it up just like this. It's still a little bit short, but that's okay. And you can either push that back into place, or when you move it back into place, it'll automatically go back there as well. You have your little drawer concealed away right here, and additional space if you need it right there. You could also present the drinks to your rear seat passengers if they're too lazy to get them for themselves. I'm going to show you how this works just so you can see. So as you can see, the lid goes right into place just like that. And we'll work our way over to the glove box right there. You can see that we're going to have our conventional space with the glove box. We're going to open that up, show you what's going on in there. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it is here. Nice large armrest and the upper and the lower door bins. Once again, just like we saw with the rear seating area with the doors back there. Now let's come over here to the driver's side and we're going to talk about what you're going to find. Now, one thing you won't find is seat memory on the passenger side. At this price point, it should be there. And as I mentioned earlier, you did the power folding side view mirrors. There is that in action. You can use the button right there to do that. You can adjust your side view mirrors, lock the windows, all that good stuff is here. One touch down, one touch up. For your front windows, you're going to hold that button up on the rear windows. And you have some of your safety features you can turn on and off right here. The auto stop start feature to turn that off, lane keeping assist. You can see what all is there. And your driving modes are located right here. You also have your four-wheel drive setup. You can leave that on auto, whatever you need to do. Now, what are your driving modes? Well, let's run through those real fast. So we're going to have tow haul mode. You can also use off-road, sport, and normal. And That's going to be the setup right there. Your headlights, everything controlled right here. You can turn your fog lights on and off with that button. Leave everything on auto. You're good to go. Here's your trailer brake control and also the control for your power adjustable steering wheel. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable. You also have Super Cruise here, semi-autonomous driving, mainly on interstate highways. And our head-up display is here. It's nice and bright. You'll adjust that in the center screen. Everything for your adaptive cruise control and also Super Cruise right here. And managing your radio, all that good stuff is here. Heated steering wheel is here as well. And your shifter paddles to work your way back and forth through the 10-speed automatic transmission. Here's your shifter, and here is everything for the front and rear window wipers. Now, we'll work our way over here to the center screen. Right here, if you want to mute what you're listening to, you push that and it automatically mutes. That's when you have that X right there. Obviously adjust the volume too. Now you might have noticed on the driver's display, let me show you something here real quick. I forgot to show too on the driver's display. Let's just show you real quick over there. Hopefully you can see this. You can actually use one of the buttons on the steering wheel to go through what you might need to see there depending on what you want to see. And the button is just located right down here just so you can see that. That's what we've got going. Kind of a nice segue into vehicle status, because you might say, well, there's some information on the driver's display that I'd like to see that I don't see. Come right here to gauges, and guess what? If you want to see your coolant temperature, you can come right here and select Add to Display. We can hit Continue, and that will then show up on the driver's display. If you want to remove that, you can do that too. Just so you can see how that works, you can do that with quite a few different options in that area. We're going to have all of our different camera views, nothing out of the ordinary. You have your front and your rear view cameras, depending on where you need to see. You've got the overhead views. You've got a little bit of everything here. Your hitch view is there. It just depends on what it is you're looking for. Google Assistant, practically endless questions and commands. You can even adjust the air conditioning with Google Assistant if you want to. By the way, everything isn't only adjusted here. You will turn on your heated and ventilated seats right here, but you can actually use physical controls that are located down there. We'll look at those in just a second if you want to as well. Trailering is here, so we can show you what's going on there just real quick. Get out of that screen. We're not going to spend a lot of time there. Let's go to settings. Now you can see what all is here. I like to show what's here because a lot of people don't show this in these car review videos. It just depends on what you need to see, what you want to know about. We're going to come back up here to vehicle. Your audio settings are going to be here. And here we go with the vehicle screen. Now you have your teen driver mode here, very easy to deal with. You just follow the directions on the screen right there. Rear seat reminder, you can turn on and off. Do drive with your seatbelt on, but as far as just driving around in the parking lot, yeah, I don't need to have that on. Your turn signal activated view. Now if you're wondering what exactly is that, I'm going to get out of the screen right here. We're going to go into drive and I'm going to turn my turn signal on. There is your turn signal activated view on the right hand side and on the left-hand side. So for those of you who haven't been using your turn signals until now, maybe that will encourage you to do so. And we'll go back here into vehicle and show you there's Super Cruise right there. If you want to turn that on, it's actually very easy to deal with. It can be automatic. You can use the turn signal to indicate to the vehicle that it needs to change lanes, however you like to do that. Now, we've got speed assist right there. We've got our collision and detection systems. The alert type is here, forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, reverse automatic braking, park assist, and your rear cross traffic braking, also rear pedestrian alert. Now what's the difference, if you're wondering, between the ones that have these little check marks right here and the ones that don't? You can actually go into this feature and you can see you can either turn that on and off. The difference is, say here with rear cross traffic braking, is you can have alert and brake, alert only, or turn that off. It just depends on what you want. And one more important thing I want to show you right here that I think is very useful is we're going to come right here to remote mirror folding. If I turn that on, what's going to happen is when I lock or unlock the vehicle, the mirrors will automatically fold and unfold. And ultimately, there is our screen. You can see what else is here. You actually do have your recordings right here. I've got a tutorial in a GMC Yukon. It's identical to how this works, where I show how that actually works if you want to look at that. How about controls? There are a few things in the screen that you would think would just be some kind of physical control. Your child safety locks, when those are activated, it's going to be highlighted like that. When they're deactivated, it's not highlighted. Like I told you, you can come in here to adjust your head-up display if you want to, depending on what you need to do there, and you can see what else is here as far as all of that goes with our different features. You do have see more controls right there. Here's your universal remote. So you don't have the home link that we used to have. You hit add remote, it walks you through the steps. It's very simple. You can figure that out, no big deal. Wirelessly pair your smartphone. You've got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay there. And down here, obviously the controls for our air conditioning, but here are the physical controls. If you want to take advantage of those for temperature, fan speed, you can turn on your front and rear window defrosters or defoggers. Nice to have that. It's a good, simple setup. I like it. Keep that, GM, Chevrolet. Let's keep these physical controls. Don't get rid of those. Wireless charging pad will be beneath all of that, and a couple more USB options. We're going to have our cup holders right here. And within the center console is quite a bit of space. Okay, here we go on the test drive. And I'm gonna hop out here on the road real quick and let you have what I know a lot of you have been waiting for. Not gonna get on it all the way, just a little bit, but hopefully give you a little bit of a decent exhaust clip. And definitely get up and go when you need it to, that's for sure. Now, one thing that I know some people might wonder about with that lowered stance on the suspension, is that going to make a difference in the ride quality? Personally, I can't tell a big difference, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. You do have your great technology here. You can see that you can leave the cameras on if you want to on the center screen. I've had a lot of people ask me about that over the course of time making these videos. You can do that. When you turn on your blinker, you're still going to get that turn signal activated view that I showed you earlier in the video. But what's going to happen is when the turn signal goes back off, if you had the cameras up like I do right now, it's going to come back to this view. Nice to be able to pass a slower moving vehicle without much effort at all. Obviously, you're going to have all of those typical features and the functionality here that you expect with a Tahoe. Tons of space, really in all three rows. Even in that third row back there, there's not a lot of three-row SUVs that offer a lot of space and a very comfortable ride quality, or situation for riding back there, I should say. You do have the comfortable ride quality here with magnetic ride control, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier in the video. The technology here is very easy to learn and use, so you don't have to worry about that being an extensive learning curve. Plus, if you need it, you're here on YouTube. You can watch all the tutorials that you need on that kind of thing and learn how to do whatever it is you need to do. The driver's seat and the steering wheel, both very easy to adjust and deal with, so you can take care of adjusting and fitting everything to every driver. No problem where that's concerned. You've got your seat memory as far as that goes. And ultimately, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Definitely not going to be the best on gas, but if you buy this Tahoe, I think you're going to know that, and it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. Fun factor, yeah, it checks off all of the boxes. Practical use, it checks off all of those boxes. Overall, a very well-rounded vehicle, especially for those looking for that extra power, that extra punch in the gut. And there it is, the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe Hennessey, the ultimate full-size SUV. An amazing vehicle. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends here at Chevy Land in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning us this Tahoe for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. We appreciate that, and it is very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.